right, good evening. I'm not sure anyone's really here, but welcome to what will hopefully be a not too long set here. Actually replacing some photos that somehow didn't make it onto the server of a trip I took to the State Line Tunnel in 2008. We'll also be covering a number of hydroelectric projects in the Albany area and whatever else is on the roll. So we're going to get started. I'm wondering if I should delay here because the first things I'm going to start with might be some of the only rail content I have. So I'm going to start at Mohawk Yard on the old D&H, which at the time, so now this is part of the Norfolk Southern run through to get to New England via Binghamton, Scranton, Binghamton, Albany, Mechanicville, and then eventually Air, Greenfield, and then Air. But at this point, I believe that NS was still handing stuff off either here or other places. So I caught this NS pair at the still searchlit Mohawk Yard stub track. Even though it looks like there's two mains, the near track's the main, the far track is just a stub for switching moves. Because these photos aren't up on the server somehow, I'm going to be making use of a additional set of photos here to get the file names. Oops. What's going on here? There it goes. Just checking out. This was in 2008, but this was then re-signaled around 2015-ish, 2012 maybe. It went pretty quick, so that's unfortunate. But I got good photos. I mean, I got reasonable amounts of photos of it when necessary. That other engine, I should be able to get its number. Looks like of course, the 9000 series. Like 9783. Should probably add that to the other one. $97.83. There we go. Perfect. And here we have the pair of engines. Be in the stars. Yeah, I'll do that. That works. Yep, 97. Something 3. Probably 83. So this wasn't using my digital camera. I was using my friend's. Mine may have broken or had some sort of forgotten it or something, but these are all my friend's digital camera. Just the names there. Perfect. Pretty good photo, but Railroad.net wouldn't like it. Anyway, the first place after this I'd like to attend would be the Cohoes Falls. These are the famous waterfalls that are between the Mohawk River and the Hudson. Would have been the first great barrier that the Erie Canal would have to circumvent. It's generally considered to be this is the fall line. Albany is generally considered to be is at the fall line, where that's why the city is there. That's where you could navigate up the Hudson from the ocean. And then they stop and they build a city. The Mohawk doubles down on that. So both up north on the Hudson and on the Mohawk are going to see waterfalls. The Cohoes Falls are pretty substantial. You can see them all here. Even dammed up, you can see where they're all at. The Erie Canal, I think, had a flight of like 7 locks. It's noted as lock 2 there. There's a lock there. It's called the Federal Lock. So I guess Erie Canal would have been the first one. The flight on the current barge canal, you have 1, 2. These are cool. You can visit them. They're like basically hooks. 3, 4, 5, and then then a guard gate. That they can use to repair the canal. And the neat bit is that, like a lot of areas in the industrialized zone, you would have a waterfall and you'd build a power canal that would then go to the mill. There's the mill. And early in the day, this power canal would go and drive all the water wheels and the belt-fed stuff in the city. And you can even to this day see, oh yeah, there's the old Erie Canal. It looks like the old Erie Canal went up on this side. Lock 15. Oh yeah. Lock 9. So, anyway, I guess that was part of the Erie Canal and they made it. Anyway, at a certain point they built, in 1915, they built a hydroelectric plant. This plant here has 42 megawatt capacity. You can see, I think those are penstocks. I should look that up. Yeah, the tubes. I heard that there were plans to expand it up to 100 megawatts, but I don't know whatever happened to it. Not sure that it went through. Whatever the plan was to expand the canal capacity or the hydroelectric capacity. There's your fish lift and everything. Anyway, there's the Cohoes Falls, and here's the power plant. Especially in winter, I don't know what I think that summer is the dry season. Winter generally has a variety. I've heard that winter is often a dry season, a surprising dry season, as you don't realize how dry it is. But the falls were going pretty well at this when I was there. Oh, that's right. I need to go here. And here we have the north side of the falls. These are all out of order. I don't know what's going on. I gotta find out where I was when I did this. This the one? Don't think so. Just could be I don't need that particular photo. Looks like I got 2 of them. Yeah, this is probably going to be a cut. These look a little bit more. There we go. That looks better. And here we have looking over the powerhouse. We have the south side. Don't worry, we'll get to the State Line Tunnel. It's shortly enough. This might be a longer set today, but with my new computer and my expedited ability to get file names, I'm hoping that I can get this going. That's the one. Oops. So you have the gatehouse. The water goes down to the penstocks and the powerhouse. The turbine hall is at the lower level. There's a lot of hydro capacity in the northeastern United States. That's why it was a manufacturing hub for so long. It's where the power was. They've all been converted into small hydro projects by now. They're still doing their job. There's a lot of belly aching about, like, removing them to blah 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 with fish, but if people want to have carbon-free power, I mean, you're gonna have to make some choices. I think most of their choices is like they want to live in a yurt, so don't let them. Just be aware when you're dealing with degrowth people. And here we have the penstocks, and the little pipes for the access to get down to the thing. It's a pretty decent drop there, and 42 megawatts is nothing to sniff at. A lot of the trash to steam incinerators are around, let's say, 60 to 80. So. Fix these file names there. Oh, that's the actual false. Okay, there we go. Yep, sorry. Don't have a ton to talk about right here. How is this one so... Did I not, like... Huh. Whatever. And here we have the side of the powerhouse, and there's your output. You can see it's active and doing its thing. Looks like there's 4... whatever they got in there. I wonder if there's something on YouTube of that. I should check it. Man, these things are big. Yeah, see, it's not even that. Like the transmission that's coming out of this is 22 kV. That's effectively what you were seeing at on for early railroad electrification. So, 12 and 22 kV systems were, for 1915, that was pretty state of the art. Even when the PR really started to get going with its 136 kV transmission, that was also pretty state of the art there. Oops. And here we have a full view, the turbine thing there, and the dam in the front, and the full falls, right there, in the background. It's interesting. Like, I mean, this is, there's a lot of stuff like this is pretty impressive. But again, I never heard of these until I'd gone up there. I mean, it's known in the area, but not really a well-known natural feature outside the capital region. All right, that's our first set. See if anyone's actually watching today. No, we got some people, but they're in and out. So no questions. But it looks like we're going to be getting to the State Line Tunnel here. After a few more waterfall photos. Let me check this real quick. There we go. Because we're going to be dealing with I don't know what bridge that is. I think that's D&H. I had a question, because it's the D&H. Hold on, I want to read college portion from Albany to Mechanicville Yard. A lot of customers. Well, I'm trying to think, would this ever belong to the New York Central? There might have been a second. Oh, that's right. I was always wondering, how did the New York Central get to Mechanicville? Because you're like, if the colony, you think like, why isn't it? So there was a New York Central line up the east side of the Hudson. But why is there a New York Central interlocking tower in Mechanicville if there's no railroad that goes there? And that's because there was a line that would go along hold on. There was a line that went along the Mohawk, I believe, and then got up there somehow. Maybe there's a guide to this at the place. I'm not really covering Exo Tower today, but there's a lot of stuff that's gone. Somehow the Central got it into Mechanicville. Um, that's not helpful. Pretty much at all. God damn it. Yeah, there was a line that went up to Troy and did something up there. I just don't know what the. Somehow there's a New York Central Tower in Mechanicville. And I'm pretty sure though that is a Delaware and Hudson bridge. Because you get a lot of weird swapping. How like the D&H runs to Sunbury on the old PRR route. The question is what milepost that is. But I know I can find it. Oh. This would have been CP. Come on, where is this? Canadian sub. Colony sub. There it is. Cohoes is milepost. Hey, what? Oh, station mileage location. 8.9 at Cohoes. So that's what about the bridge would be about milepost 9.1. Oh, there's a whatchamacallit in there? A signal. Because I got photos of it not too long ago. Where is that? Dang it, where'd that go? I know that I got the picture of the signal down in there. Oh, it's in Waterford. There it is. So that's 10.6. And if I distance measure this, womp. One 1.4, 9.6, 9.2. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. So now I have this question of if I'm on the colony sub, how do I phrase this? I think I do mileposts. CPO 4. Do I never identify a milepost on the colony sub? It doesn't look like it. Okay, that's what I do. So it's milepost 9.2. Oh, that took a little longer than I thought it would. But the next one's easier. There we go. And here we have the north side of the falls with a better photo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 22 kV line because the insulators are 4 segment, and that's what they appeared as on the Reading. These are really old power transmission lines, like really old. There we go. Here are the ones on the far side. These are the ones that are going to the power plant. Again, they appear to be 22 kV. At the time, like, it's like, that's not, I mean, at the time it would have, lit your lamps. But that's a very, very, very small low voltage to be working with there. That works. It's an interesting one with making that right angle there. These don't feel like they've been like repaired or replaced. These might, I don't know if these are from 1915, but it's close to it. Perfect. Not sure what I labeled that back in the day. Very nice day to be out. You get these beautiful winter days in the east. Usually it's gray, but when the sun comes out, it's very nice. I got a bunch of nice days when I was going up to the Hudson Valley last year. We'll see what I get this year when I head up. A zoom shot of the Middle Falls here. We're almost to the State Line Tunnel. I know that I promised more train stuff. And we're at the State Line Tunnel, but you wouldn't know it because it was just this. There's a bunch of initial cut of photos that weren't good, and I actually knew that at the time. So the replacements are at the end, more at the end of the roll. But we'll get there in just a second. Remember, I don't have my normal contact sheet because somehow, for whatever reason, these never got uploaded. So what I'm going to actually need here is... I always do this. I need some Conrail, some quick Conrail employee timetables for the Boston line. So I need to know which tracks are track 1 and track 2. One is going to be the north thing. So at the State Line Tunnel, you have let's go over to where the State Line Tunnel is here. Cancel out of this. So coming out of Albany on the old Boston Albany, you start on the Post Road branch, which is Amtrak only. Then basically the B&A makes a sine wave all the way to Boston. That's why it's so slow. I thought the State Line Tunnel was under the State Line. It is actually not. It is a few miles in New York State, right there. I'm also not entirely sure if that's going to be the peak of the Berkshires for it. It might have something elsewhere. For whatever reason, maybe they just couldn't get through it. The New York Central decided to blast through with a cut. So anyway, what I probably should have done is left those other I went ahead and won't say pre-deleted, but I went through and did a quick cut of things. Probably shouldn't have. All right, where is this? There, it's that one, I believe, right there. Yeah. So this is the old track. So today is only one track, but that's the old track 1 tunnel. So what did I label this as? Like, and New York Central State Line Tunnel? I don't think that's gonna fly. Let's see. Yeah, I'd put this as a New York Central thing. From a Conrail point of view, it's at milepost 164.8. Okay. So I should probably just do it as doing it with a Boston label. Now, I didn't walk through the active tunnel. I went through the abandoned one. You never know what was going. You know, it's curved. I think it's curved to a degree. I could have booked it, but I just had no. There's no signals around. It's Rule 562, so there's really no good way to do it. But with a second tunnel, there's really no reason you'd have to go through the active one. I was trying to take some photos inside. I ended up taking a bunch of video. This is a giant icicle or ice flow, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know what happens when an icicle. What do you call an icicle when it touches the ground? Because it's an ice stalactite. And here we are at the other end coming out. There wasn't much. I took some video, but you don't need. There's nothing I can do with the video in this. I was with a friend at the time, who was an RPI student, and he's the person I'd be visiting, and we'd go and do hockey games and stuff. But without much else to do, we'd go and do this sort of thing. So we have the westbound portal. I don't know how much traffic's on the Boston line. It's just not so much that CSX wasn't willing to let NS use it. I think it's only I think there's an auto rack on it. There's probably an intermodal pair. I don't know how many manifest trains. Probably probably 6 trains a day. Here we have the westbound old abandoned track 1 portal. I think that there's something with maybe they just couldn't cut through the rock, or I don't know why they, or so oftentimes they maybe they would tunnel but see, these tunnels aren't lined, so the soil couldn't be that unstable. And here's the active line with its impressive amounts of ice. Again, no concrete facing, no nothing. It's just holes. If you ever have a New York Central, any book on the Boston Albany, there was pretty much a rail fan in the age of steam camped out here, just pretty much full time. And here again we have a wider version of the track 1 bore. Oh, there's the problem. Definitely a nice place to visit. I came in, as you saw, from yeah, there's all sorts of googly stuff here for the, there's a road there, and I guess I hiked up. It's right off of I-90. Right in the it's right between the Thruway and the Mass Pike. So, you know, this is sort of like the neutral territory exit. They've gotten rid of the toll booths, unfortunately, at both ends. Apparently that used to be where the Mass Pike, literally the Mass Pike would not venture into New York State and would end abruptly right there. It's pretty, you know, sort of a screw you to New York State. Yeah, you get in there and park. I think that's where I came in. Because the railroad's right up over there. I don't know where this road is. We might have come in from this thing. Oh, yeah, there it is. But there's no good place to park here. So I'm pretty sure that we came down around like this, parked in here, and then hiked in. In winter, you can see right through. In fact, let me see if there's different dates on this. This is new. Nah, just a 2009 one. So here have the sort of the face, the cut wall of the track 1 tunnel. It's not the track 2 tunnel, it's just the main tunnel. Oh, I didn't check if anyone's actually around and asking questions. No, not really. Lots of drippy noises. I guess it couldn't have been that cold. When we were there. Oh, that's interesting. Someone's sort of dim. Yep, nothing showed up when we were there. That might be a little bit of concrete. I'm not entirely sure. But it was quite bright. You know, the whole show with all the ice was quite bright. But you get that up in the Adirondacks too. I don't know if this is good for climbing. Doesn't have that. Yeah, I mean it was all melty, so you probably couldn't really ice climb on it. Didn't have that blue appearance. But the Berkshires are pretty high. This is about 2,000-ish feet, 2,700, 2,800 feet above sea level. That's not bad. And finally, we have this nice classic shot of the State Line Tunnel, westbound portal. Only one track, though. And then we have the old track 1 tunnel and its cut wall with the ice. Looking, you can sort of see how, I'm not sure if I'm assuming that the tunnels were bored independently. Like they made one, and then when they needed to widen it, they made the other one. You can see how there are two different alignments here. But they sort of get closer at the other end. I believe it was single tracked when they re-signaled the line when they put in CTC in the 80s. It's the only tunnel on the Boston line. So here we are looking eastward from the State Line Tunnel. I don't think that's a cab signal indication point. Might have been an old. Actually, it looks like an old signal box for the old track 1. And this is going to be the westbound. These are the icicle stalactites in the westbound tunnel, westbound portal. And finally, after walking all the way back through, we're exiting out the eastbound portal. There we go. Yeah, this camera has some variations on it. I can tell that I wasn't entirely. There was a lot of stuff that was soft, so I didn't quite have the feel for working the camera. Just 2 more sets here. We're almost done. Still no one really watching live, but maybe we'll get some folks on the replay. In fact, I should make a whole bunch of those public tonight. After I heard that, like, oh yeah, you only get 3 notifications a day, I've been kind of releasing my stuff, been limiting them to 3s. Note all the rock bolts designed to keep the stuff in, keep the face in check there. Kind of looks like it has acne or something. And here we have the Boston Line, the active Boston Line Tunnel. Yeah, it's a very pretty location. I assume that I was pretty cold. I wonder if there's a Wikipedia thing on this for why it was built this way. And then we have this twin shot of the old state line, of the state line tunnel here, looking west. The line curvature is very neat. I should definitely go look to see what's on YouTube for state line tunnel stuff. And then looking westward. Yep. This part of the line is Rule 562, so you're not going to find any signals. There probably are signal indication points, but because it's not NS, they're not going to be labeled as such. All right, so now we're cutting back to Troy, New York. This is, home of Rensselaer Polytechnic. It too, like many of the areas, many of the towns in the Hudson Valley, had. I'm going to show you where this is. Had. So you follow it in, CP 187 up to there. This line used to go all the way through. There's a weird bunch of like the Boston and Maine had a line coming down from the tower. I'm going to show you later, and there was a whole bunch of weird. The whole part of downtown Troy, New York. This area here, it looks like a park. That was all a big weird rail complex. The track here. So today the track sort of ends there, an industrial track from Albany. If you follow it, you can sort of see where you can sort of pick out a bit of a right of way. There it is. There's the right of way. It would go there. Yep. Diagonal buildings, diagonal buildings, diagonal buildings, and then it'll get you right up in here. And then this is where the rail yards and the station and such were. There's like a bunch of weird towers in there. There was see where this bridge is? There was a railroad bridge that came across Goose Island here. You can see the remains of it over 787. And that would come in, and everything would sort of meet meet right in here. And now it's a park, and you would never know that that was a giant rail yard right in the middle of town. Anyway, there's a waterfall complex called the Potenskill Gorge, and that's home to the Mount Ida hydroelectric plant. So, let's see how I labeled these photos back in the day. Oh, wrong ones. So this is, you can see it's an old mill race or something with it. I don't care about these photos as much. I'm just giving the old names. You don't get to, you definitely don't see these in the summer. It's completely, if these are even still there. I haven't really. I mean, I've been down to the gorge a bunch, but I haven't really seen the I haven't really seen what's been sort of going on there on the city side of things. Because I always do stuff on the other side where the park is. That works. So this is the Mount Ida hydroelectric station. There is a small substation behind it. You can see it's only feeding the local distributor, which is either 12 or 20. It might be 22 kV. I'm pretty sure it's a 12 kV. Might be even less. It's a caisson, so that little round building. It goes like 100 feet down, and there's like a turbine at the bottom. It's not full of water. There's sort of like a pipe that gets. So here's how this works. The gorge starts there at the you can see the waterfalls in these other photos there. It's a 3-stage waterfall, 1, 2, 3. There's a dam up top, and there's a sort of a mill pond up here. The water is tapped off somewhere in there and flows via a pipe somewhere in this vicinity, and eventually pops down there to the hydroelectric plant. This is what it looks like inside. You can barely sort of see it. This big old spiral staircase and 3-phase power coming from it. It's only about a 1 megawatt facility. That's not bad. That's not shabby, but yeah. Here we go. I should go back. I'm going to be back there at the start of February, so maybe I'll put this on the list of a thing to check out. Ugh. Did I even use this photo? This photo's pretty awful. Nah, that's a cut. Yeah, that's a cut. Up there's the pen stock for the mill, the old mill or whatever they had here. Again, you can see these are all a little out of focus. I was not used to using this camera. This might have been an older power plant as well. It would have been located somewhere in there, but I really don't know how to get in on that. Unless people have something tagged. Ampersand Hydro LLC subsidiary Mount Ida. Oh, it's like, how many subsidiaries do you have there? See, yeah, even around the back, you have no idea what's around. Here you go. Oh, wow, there's a ladder there. Huh. I should look into that. Well, I'll check that out when I'm there this year. I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to do so. Like I said, there's your substation. The cabinet type that was popular for a while. We have some of those in my area. I'm not sure when they went in, though. Probably the 1960s. So the last location that we're going to be is up in Johnsonville. And like I said, if you go through Rensselaer, Troy, you'll notice the park turns into this sort of open way, and suddenly it looks like a rail trail, and whoop, look at us now. We are on, yeah, there is a rail trail, and it's heading out of town, and it goes up to the town. And this was old B&A, Boston and Maine. Boston and Maine were on the would take the overland, the higher route to Mechanicville, would interchange with the Delaware and Hudson there, but it looks like they also had a main line that would go to Troy. Don't know if they get down to Albany or not. But of course, as things went on and interchange traffic and regional transportation changed, you don't need those sort of lines anymore. As you can see, there's nothing in Troy to make it worthwhile. But anyway, we're going to go, before we get to the old Junction Tower, which is still there, I'm going to be taking a look at the Johnsonville Hydroelectric Dam. This is 4 megawatt capacity, built in 1909. So these are really at the forefront. This area was really at the forefront. I mean, the oldest hydro plant in the world is still operating is Mechanicville. That one's right here. Built in 1897. Oldest. No, it's not the first one. It's the oldest operating. Built in 1897, still using the original equipment. 5 megawatt capacity. I think they're trying to up it though. Uses horizontal turbines, and this whole region was there's a hydroelectric dam right here. That one's built in 1992 though. This one has a more traditional one. They would find anywhere they could. So this is whole rapid complex here in the river, and what they did was see this whole bunch of waterfalls going down the escarpment, trying to get from the highlands down to the Hudson level. They just cut off the river, put a power plant in, boom, 16 megawatts of hydropower right there. This was sort of, I mean, GE is in this. There's a reason GE is in this area. I mean, GE is in Schenectady. That's where Tesla came out of the Buffalo area, where there's also hydro. But it's just very interesting, just the hydro and technical legacy of the Albany Capital District. So there's your little history lesson for the day. I gotta find the right photo. There it is. At this day and age, this was in the 2000s, before there was breweries all over the place, and before we knew people, and before we had a lot of money. My friend had a car on campus though, but I would just look at them. I would find stuff, and we'd just go places and check them out. And we're almost on our last... What? Oh. There it goes. And we're going to be on our last set of photos here. All right. Did this one not get covered before? Come on. Yeah, there it is. Here we have the pond behind the little hydro plant dam there. These aren't the greatest photos, so I'm not going to overly scrutinize the names on these. They're not railroad related. Oh, come on. Might have cut this one for whatever reason, but it's still pretty cool. Don't know if this is high or low or regular. It's one of those sort of, fixed head dams. So the more, it can't really raise or lower, and the lake there's not really a lot of impoundment there. So called a run of the river. There's no real storage capacity in the pool. There it is. So there's a lot of, a lot of water going over, not through any sort of turbines. That's why these engineering firms will come in and they'll find ways to raise the capacity. And here we have our 1909. I should look on YouTube to see if there's any videos inside these facilities. I might get one. Nope. How are these so out of order? Yeah, 4 megawatts. That's not bad. That's something on the order of, an SD70. What is it? 700 watts to the horsepower. So 0.7 kilowatts to a horsepower for 4 divided, About 5,000 horsepower, I guess. I don't know. Oh, yeah, about 5,000 horsepower. Getting closer here. You can see here that how they build these. They would build these dams right where the waterfall was, right onto the bedrock. Out west you have all sorts of soil problems, but when you can build the thing right on bedrock, you're pretty good. There's a lot of small dams all over the place, especially in parks and stuff. You know, definitely. I mean, it's an interesting thing to do. Think of micro hydro. Some people, again, it's where you have stuff like this already. You can put in make use of the water that's already flowing over whatever dam you have in place. But like I said, there's a lot of the people who want environmentalism but won't think they can do it all with having less, or pulling out old hydro dams all over the place. So finally, we are at the Johnsonville interlocking tower. As I mentioned before, there's the dam. It's right off the main road. You can see it. A lot of people take pictures. It's privately owned, but I'm not entirely sure who owns it. If it's this guy, if it's just sitting there. It's there because that's where the rail line, the junction would split for the Troy branch versus the line that would continue to Mechanicville. Much of that right-of-way is still surprisingly intact, but there's no sign of it once you get close to the tower. Here on my North American Towers page, wherever that is. That's not it. Where is this? Let's see. Quick, go over to New York here. Go down to Johnsonville. JV Tower. It's looked like that for forever. Yeah, so this is when this tower at Hoosick Junction, which I think is an Eagle Bridge, CTC control over the one in Johnsonville. So there's Johnsonville. There we go. There's the road bridge. This is in 19 who knows when. Boston and Maine Railroad. Blah 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 blah. Here's a diagram. It's sort of hard to read. This is the line to Albany up here. So it's completely reversed how this looks. To Boston, you sort of need to reverse this. That's the line to Albany, and that's the line to what they say is Rotterdam Junction. That's sort of via Mechanicville. But a very traditional looking, um, Boston and Maine interlocking tower. I stayed on the side of the road. There was like a car being fixed there. I didn't know what was really going on with who owned the tower. But when I go back, I'll do a quick whatever on it. Quick walk around. These are the only pictures I have of this tower. From the road, in the wet, in 2008. And I should definitely come back and get better ones. It's effectively the same design as the tower at Air, where I do have photos of a couple years ago. And the last photo of the day, from the road, JV Tower. Yeah, there's nothing in that in the operators area, so that's a bit disappointing. See, looking in here, yeah, there's nothing up there. I think that's going to do it for us today. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you're live or tuning in a couple weeks, thank you very much. See if we got anybody. No one's there. All right, good night. I will see you next time. When that is, I do not know. Might not be until mid-February. All right, have a great night.